particularly Mexican fans. After all, over 49 years since they lost last by 3 goals or more in an official Concacaf competition. It's precisely what happened, seeing 2 men sent off, seeing the game concluded with 6 additional minutes of stoppage time left unplayed. It simply became untenable for a number of reasons. But as it stands for Mexico, there's large discontentment. Diego Coca has not pulled the heartstrings of these Mexican fans yet, and this is a group that enter every competition expecting to win. 3rd place is a consolation for many. For Mexico, it's merely a little less failure. Meanwhile, for this Panamanian side, they've only lost twice in their last 8 games. One of them was Messi's return game with Argentina to celebrate hoisting the World Cup. The other was to Canada, the side that won the octagonal in CONCACAF leading up to that World Cup. Panama believes this is the kind of springboard moment. There's a talented generation of players and a coach in Thomas Christensen who's led the program for 3 years. This would be a near unparalleled height for the group. No, they don't reach their first final in quite some time, but they do get the opportunity to finish 3rd here, and in doing so, knock off the one team in the region, the one giant that they have yet to defeat in Christensen's tenure. They've knocked off Costa Rica 3 times over, the United States in World Cup qualifying, Canada in World Cup qualifying, but in 3 games against Mexico, 2 losses and a draw. The 28th all-time meeting between these 2 teams nearly set to begin. Just 2 losses by Mexico to Panama in their history. They did meet in the group stage of the Nations League in 2019-20. Mexico won both of those, a combined 6-1 margin. Now they meet with 3rd place on the line. A number of changes for both teams, 6 in totality for Mexico. A performance that was embarrassing for a program of such historic might. Tonight they try and change that narrative as much as they can ahead of the upcoming Gold Cup, which kicks off in just a week. For Panama, they'll make 4 changes, 2 players back from suspension. They'll lose one along the way as well. But it's a group as prepared as ever to take out Mexico. Now they actually have to do the job. A look inside the tunnel at Allegiant Stadium. This is the home to the National Football League's Las Vegas Raiders, an American football team. They've replaced the gridiron with a perfectly manicured pitch, grown outdoors and wheeled inside in front of 50,000 seats. Onto the field for this 2nd ever Nations League 3rd place game. Panama on the left, Mexico on the right. The 58th ranked team in the world, the 15th ranked team in the world, respectively. Flames shoot out over the field. Sparklers welcome these 22 players onto the field. Hope they can leave at least with a bronze. Neither are satisfied, but both recognize the value of a win leading into this summer. The CONCACAF Nations League Finals will conclude with Canada and the United States later tonight competing for the trophy. The 3rd place game set to commence here in just minutes. Panama and Mexico. They'll play the national anthems, we'll meet the lineups, and kickoff is imminent here in Las Vegas.
Please rise if you are able for the singing of the national anthem of Panama. standing, if you're able, for the singing of the national anthem of Mexico.
Mexico and Panama, the third place game in the Concacaf Nations League. We meet the lineups. We begin with Panama under Thomas Christensen. They make a change in goal. Luis Mejia started 17 World Cup qualifiers ahead of Qatar. He was the first choice throughout that cycle. They've switched to a 5-back, which means they bring an additional center back, Roderick Miller, into the side. They make a couple changes higher up the field as well. Jose Fajardo is back from a red card suspension, which he suffered in the finale of the group stage in Nations League. Alberto Quintero returns from yellow card accumulation suspension.
Number 19, Alberto Quintero. And the captain, number 20,
Danian Parchment of Jamaica oversees the proceedings here. The Jamaican has overseen a few finals in CONCACAF before. CONCACAF League final in 2020, Olympic qualifying final in 2021. Tatiana Guzman of Nicaragua, our VAR official for this game. Mexico is always going to make significant changes under Diego Coca. It was exacerbated by their performance, without doubt. Memo Ochoa continues to hold the shirt, but the changes begin in the back. Vasquez and Araujo enter at center back and right back, respectively. In midfield, Luis Romo will anchor the three, and up front, everyone's wanted to see Santi Jimenez get his chance. He will here. Herrera starts wide to the left. Arteaga and Montes unavailable due to red cards suffered in their match against the United States. A 3-0 loss that regrettably got horribly out of hand. There is an irony to the fact that third place can mean very different things. For that man, hope, confidence, belief that the Gold Cup ahead could lead them forward. That's Thomas Christensen, the Panamanian head coach. For Diego Coca, it's job security. It'll settle what is a titanic iceberg ahead. Diego Coca now through 6 games in charge, 9 goals scored, 8 goals conceded, 2 wins, a loss, 3 draws. Third place game is underway. Mexico and Panama kick off in Las Vegas in the penultimate game of Nations League in 2022-2023. Memo Ochoa, Vasquez, Gallardo, Reyes. Goal against Cameroon in the tune-up match ahead of the semifinals on Thursday. That was held up. Appeal for a handball. went unheard. Now they've given it as an offside. Panama into the final third. And blasted up and over from Quintero. He's arguing for a deflection. Not an argument he'll win. Quintero's 130th cap. They knew they'd be without him, and they were willing to go too short on the bench in their match against Canada in the hopes that he'd be playing in a final today. He'll have to settle for a shot at third place. Forward from Godoy, and ahead to Antuna, out of his reach. Uriel Antuna. Reyes, that's Vasquez. Chavez. It's Reyes. Taking over after Vasquez was fouled. And Parchment laying down the rules early. Vasquez saying his sock proves the level of the tackle. Vasquez relegated with Cremonese in Italy. The good news is Genoa owns his rights. They were promoted. He was at the Qatar World Cup. Didn't feature. Diaz. Quintero. Sought Fajardo. Could say that's an element of payback. Cummings. Quintero. Vasquez. Romo. Loads up for the big switch. Uriel Antuna with speed. Catches up. Requires two additional defenders. Through by Araujo. Antuna crossing. Deflects to the spot. And Mexico scores! Jesus Gallardo! A goal that Mexico desperately needed comes in the 4th minute of the third place game. Rumors swirling, closed door meetings, and Panama with a strong start. But it's Mexico that get forward with speed. Gallardo plowing into the box and waits as this crosses through a number of players. He strikes with precision and with confidence. And Mexico grabs the lead in pursuit of third place in Concacaf Nations League. Just the second international goal for Gallardo in his 86th cap. Miller. Carrasquilla. Well, if you're Panama, you had a couple incursions into the attacking half. Largely, you felt okay. But you just let Mexico off the mat in a major way. Bouncing ball forward. Stabbed toward Diaz. Pushed upfield for Eric Sanchez. That is a Panamanian corner won by Jose Fajardo. They just announced the goal for Gallardo. He tied his career high 6 goals for Monterrey between the Apertura and the Clausura this year. 6. He had 12 in about 150 games preceding that for the club. Concacaf was everywhere against Canada. Really kept them in the game for a while out of that central midfield position. Concacaf steered upfield by Jimenez. Antuna. Referee saw nothing wrong. Cross for Diaz. Blackman. It appears that out of possession, this is a defensive-minded three-back. Out of possession of 5. Blackman never stood a chance. Recovered by Miller. Concacaf. Fidel Escobar. Cracks forward off the head of Blackman. Another look at the goal in the 4th minute of play. Real Antuna with a deflection that finds Gallardo. The need for this goal was not for this game. It's for the future of the Mexican national team. After all, even before the loss to the United States, Diego Coca said more fans in Mexico would prefer me out than in. Ball head to Quintero. Quintero! The save by Ochoa, just enough to put it outside the post. Fajardo with a clever ball. Quintero had a backside run from Ismael Diaz, instead went it alone. Likely never would have gotten it across anyways. And Memo Ochoa, San Memo, nabs an important save for Mexico. Concacaf. Have another look here. That's going to stay in play. Quite the battle for Santi Jimenez. Ian Barcenas. Barcenas was a very late add to the lineup. Andres Andrade unavailable. He picked up an injury in pregame warmups. Over the top, that's settled. And eventually Herrera sees this sent toward the stands. Foul by Blackman. Chavez. Reyes. Israel Reyes earns his 9th cap tonight. The center back from Jalisco, acquired from Puebla by Club America this year. Gallardo scored in the 4th minute to put Mexico ahead in the 3rd place game. It was quite the unique semifinal to see the United States and Mexico playing against one another. Typically, they save that action for the final. However, the seeding based on performances in group play, and as a result, Mexico finishing fourth set up that rarity. The third place game in Denver last year went to penalties. Honduras passed Costa Rica 2-2 and 5-4 in spot kicks. Mexico only got to the final on spot kicks after a scoreless draw with Costa Rica, that previous Nations League finals. Lost by Bárcenas. Collision with Jimenez. Fidel Escobar. Kept away from Blackman by Julian Araujo. Carrasquilla, Blackman, sliced back by Quintero. Fajardo couldn't combine. Carrasquilla got a piece, but Antuna kept it in right to Cummings. Blackman. Diaz dropped. Slid aside, but maintained after Jimenez lost it. Antuna, Jimenez dummies. Herrera. Chavez. Herrera angling Escobar. Carrasquilla. Hold up. Jimenez. Diaz for Carrasquilla. Slipped away from Ismael Diaz. Araujo. Lost by Romo. Romo came off the bench in the final against the United States 2 years ago. Gallardo scored the goal, did so as well. Only Uriel Antuna and Memo Ochoa play in the finale of Nations League. This instance, the third place game 2 years on. Edson Alvarez, Henry Martin, and Orbelín Pineda available as well. Gone some of the older faces, including Andres Guardado, who captained that side. No Chucky Lozano. Ochoa. Antuna feeling for blood after catching that arm across the face from Miller. Ongoing conversation there for Diego Coca and Eric Sanchez. He did acknowledge that there was a closed-door meeting on Friday. Blackman, leading touch, driving centrally. Sanchez, that was Cummings onto Quintero. Turning Diaz, spinning around Fajardo. He's able to spin with ball in tow. Picked back up by Escobar. Bárcenas serving Carrasquilla. Gallardo heads back to Ochoa. Take the Mexican rumor mill for what you will. It suggested that multiple players contemplated leaving the team after the loss to the U.S. on Thursday. It's a full roster outside of the 2 players sent off in that match. So clearly it didn't come to pass. Of course, the Gold Cup right around the corner. And at this stage, Diego Coca trying to get all his ducks in a row, get everyone rowing the boat in the same direction. Because regardless of whether or not, as he said, the U.S. brought all their players from Europe and they did not, Mexicans still expect to win this tournament. Gallardo, skies in the air over Jimenez. Blackman. Ochoa. Appearance 137. Mejia. His 49th cap. Likely to find number 50 during the Gold Cup. Chavez. Jesus Gallardo. Ball threaded through Mejia before Jimenez offered. Miller. Header on to Jimenez. Glides by Cummings. Jimenez. Miller. Antuna was waiting. And kept in by Panama. But it's to their detriment. Romo. Gallardo. Chavez. Diaz. Chavez was fouled by Godoy. Barcenas. Canasquilla. Good ball for Fajardo. Taken on by Herrera. Blackman will break for the ball. Diaz, the beneficiary, and Araujo places this over the end line. Carrasquilla. Mexico can be lethal. But Cummings sniffed it out. Blackman. Panama will go to their 10th consecutive Gold Cup next week. We'll see Costa Rica in Fort Lauderdale. That's where the prelims were in 8 days. And take on a team that enters out of the preliminary stage. Take on El Salvador on the 4th of July and see whether or not they advance onto the knockout stage. Miller. Barcenas. Carrasquilla. Backs that header into space. Carrasquilla slams it forward. Araujo. But they bring play back and give a free kick to Panama. Past the midway point of the first half. Barcenas puts it in play. Blackman. Quintero. Quintero crossing dangerously. Godoy had the first crack at it. Bounces right to Memo Ochoa. Either of these flick-ons could have been enough. Instead, Ochoa hardly had to do anything at all. Ball Godoy features in MLS here in the U.S. Nashville SC. Godoy, Fajardo dropping in to receive. Carrasquilla over Gallardo. Kept in at the corner flag by Barcenas. Escobar. Godoy. It's been much cleaner last 20 minutes from Panama. Godoy. Ismael Diaz brought it down. Fajardo continues to chase as far as Ochoa. Romo had company. He maintained it all the way through. Taken out at the end. They do not give advantage And the players here are hot. The yellow's already out. Multiple players tugging at one another. VAR will see everything. It's worth noting that Serginho Dest got tied up with Gerardo Arteaga. That saw both of them sent off in the USA-Mexico game. Montez hammered Lauren Balogun, which led to McKinney getting sent off for the U.S. at the same time with about 20 minutes remaining. That game finished 9-9. As a result, Montez and Arteaga are unavailable. Cummings gesturing down. So here's the tackle. Romo lunging to get that wide, and he did it quite well. That's a late tackle by Cummings. Yellow card looked like went to Romo. Another player got his jersey ripped. So take another look. Cummings goes perhaps into his slide first, but Romo was the player that was initially in possession, then this after the fact. So Jimenez lashes out. Then after that, is that toward the throat, perhaps, by Carrasquilla? That's going to be for VAR to decide. And VAR will decide. There will be a review for a potential hostile act. So they'll look at violent conduct potentially here. The VAR room is led by Nicaraguan official Tatiana Guzman. The referee is Danian Parchman.
He's bending the leg to try to put the leg down. Is that the case?
Looking at whether or not those studs were exposed and how Romo went into that. In the end, the pass he tried to complete, he actually did. Of course, in the Nations League finals 2 years ago, Tata Martino was sent off in part for stepping toward the monitor during a VAR review in the 110th minute in extra time. Danian Parchman has seen enough. It is apparently a free kick for Panama, nothing more here than what was given. He hasn't yet shown that he's taking the yellow away. I mean, at some point you have to contemplate intent, without doubt. Cummings is back up. Mexico felt there should have been advantage that Cummings had slid in and not gotten the ball. Led to that initial confusion. So they say that downward motion at the end of that pass did constitute a foul, it appears. by Romo. Skia got a piece. Mexico took the lead in the 4th minute. Jesus Gallardo on a deflected service from Uriel Antuna. Slipped that for Antuna. Appeal for a handball. This is as loud as the crowd has been all afternoon. Reyes won it back, Araujo too far. Referee shows a yellow to Quintero. Player that missed the semifinal because of accumulation earlier in the tournament. Rahul. Return to Quintero. Well, how many third place games do we see be a listless 90-minute blur? That doesn't appear to be what we got here today. A highly motivated Panamanian team. This is the one major side in Concacaf they've yet to conquer under their current manager. And a Mexican team coming off the kind of loss that should very well light a fire. Escobar gave that away too easily. Cross field from Sanchez. Antuna. He let the moment get away from him. And as he retreats, the foul by Fajardo given. Quick restart. Herrera, Gallardo, Sanchez for Romo. Araujo turned it over. Out of Skia. Ran into Romo. Quick restart. Blackman, the overlap from Diaz. Blackman brought down by Reyes. Nearly out for a throw. Mejia. Godoy. Will that find Quintero? It did. He rolls it aside. Ochoa is out. And upfield to Araujo. The run out on for Mexico the other way. Antuna. Antuna slid and now fired high by Herrera. Nervy moment on one end. Quintero's been dangerous in his return. Sparsiness, he wasn't even supposed to start. Injury in warm-ups to Andrade. Sees him left out. Blackman. Jimenez. Taken by Godoy. Carrasquilla for Quintero. Barcenas. Escobar the target. The flag waved one way, then the other. It is with Panama. Diego Coca looks on. Make no mistake, a 1-0 win against Panama will do very little to quiet the outside noise. Ball deflects down Diaz. Diaz blocked, cleared by Reyes. Antuna. Overzealous from Roderick Miller. Third meeting between these countries in Nations League. They were grouped together in Group B in the previous iteration, the inaugural iteration. 3-0 in Panama, 3-1 at the Azteca, both in favor of Mexico. Godoy. Only 2 losses in 11 games for Mexico in Nations League, both to the United States. Ball ahead for Antuna, sprinting but out of real estate. Miller. Antuna. To touch by Cummings. In totality, Mexico has only fallen to Panama on 2 occasions And interestingly enough, they came 17 days apart, both at the 2013 Concacaf Gold Cup. Ball through Jimenez. Flag down for the moment. Jimenez angles through. Jimenez went down, and the offside flag is up. We'll take a look at Jimenez here. There's the ball through. He is leaning. Referee, of course, instructed to let that play out. Panama won both those 2013 games nearly a decade ago now by 2-1 margin. The group stage and then again in the semifinal. Gabby Torres scored both goals in the group stage game. Las Perez and Roman Torres scored in the semi. Ended up falling to the United States in that 2013 Gold Cup. Carrasquilla. Diaz deflected really kindly for Ismael Diaz. Player at Católica in Ecuador. Saw that perhaps bang off the extended arm of Vasquez as well. Nevertheless, off the head of Fajardo and out by Diaz. Panama have actually had more of the ball, if you can believe it. About 55%. A lot of jostling. Herrera. Down at the ankles. Carrasquilla that stepped in and sort of planted him, and Godoy finished the job. Be where you can find Santiago Jimenez. He was in that preliminary 30-man roster for the World Cup. He ultimately did not make the final cut. Go to Qatar. Mexican fans clamoring for number 11. Fajardo. The defensive header. We approach stoppage time in Las Vegas. The penultimate game of CONCACAF Nations League. The long throw that Escobar meets. Snap back forward. Jimenez lays it off. Herrera kept it wide. Gallardo the target. Instead up to Romo. Turning Herrera. Bypasses Godoy. Bounces up off Fajardo with his arm extended. It continues for Mexico. Chavez. This is Gallardo. Stares down Barcenas. Angles to the end line. Gallardo. Carrasquilla. Romo. Into first half stoppage time, 4 added minutes. The flex down, Carrasquilla. Played that through, Diaz chasing only to see Chavez carry and clear. But Godoy won it back and wins advantage for Panama. Carrasquilla. Ball whipped across. Araujo just got kicked. That ball never got anywhere close. He was begging the official to notice. Miller, Blackman, feigning wide. Now playing in, Quintero. His run broken up. Fajardo. Miller. Carrasquilla underneath it. Jimenez set the tone. Now he's flying. He's covered by Cummings. Miller. Panama seek an equalizer. Into the box, Diaz. Sees Ochoa claim for Mexico. Whisked along for Herrera. Herrera dancing. Lays back. Vital intervention. It's not over yet. Araujo. Final minute of first half stoppage. Deflected by Carrasquilla. Being held by Araujo. That'll earn him a card. Araujo did not feature against the United States in the semifinal. You may well know his story with the Galaxy. Set to transfer to Barcelona, 18 seconds late for registration. That is halftime. Romo got apparently a late yellow there too. Well, it is halftime here in the third place game. Gallardo, his second international goal in his 86th appearance for Mexico. This is a side to say down on their luck would be putting it as politely as possible. And a goal they desperately needed. One that sees the team come together at halftime with a lead. Halftime in the third place game of the Concacaf Nations League Finals. Mexico 1, Panama 0. Panama and Mexico retaking the field in the third place game of the Concacaf Nations League. Panama have reached the field first. They trail Mexico 1-0 at halftime. Jesus Gallardo, 4 minutes into the game, puts Mexico ahead. And perhaps the conversations they had on Friday, warranted or not, needed or not, had some form of effect. Mexico strong first half. Panama created some chances. They were not without opportunity in the opening 45 in their pursuit of third place. Their first win in Nations League over Mexico, just their third all-time and their first in a decade. Mexico making their way onto the field now slowly but surely. That was the case on Thursday night in the semifinal. The United States came out, they huddled as you would expect, and they went out into position, and Mexico wasn't there yet. Mexico was already trailing in that game. Christian Pulisic put the United States ahead by then. And boy, it just hung out there at Allegiant Stadium in front of a sold-out 50,000 seats. Mexico delayed in their arrival, and once they did arrive, they ceded the second goal just about a minute out of halftime. He'll look for a better result this time. Diego Coca among those just saw him making his way onto the field. Actually kicked off while the Mexican staff was still walking across the face of the U.S. bench. Mexico getting a brief warm-up in here just as they leave the tunnel. Diego Coca had some very interesting comments at the tail end of his press conference after that semifinal. Coca, 51-year-old Argentine manager, named on February the 10th. That was only his 6th match in charge at the time. His longest tenure at any one job, just 25 months. But he brought Atlas their first title after over a 70-year drought, went back-to-back, and taken over Tigres, one of the biggest clubs in Mexico, and one that reached the Club World Cup final a couple of years ago from Tuca Ferretti. He said mentality is the hardest and most important thing to change. He failed to expound much further upon that, but it is clear he was disappointed with the way Mexico responded on Thursday. His team responded well to start this game. There's the whistle onto the second half. The dream of third place is now for Mexico and Panama. Jesus Gallardo's goal in the 4th minute, the difference at present. For Panama, Quintero is on a yellow card. Andrade was scheduled to start this game, ultimately was injured in pregame warm-up, so Edgar Barcenas was a late addition. For Mexico, Araujo is on a yellow card, and yes, it is confirmed that Luis Romo is on a yellow card. Ball floated over that Araujo puts his pink head to. Corner, Panama. Carrasquilla went short. Saw the return from Quintero. Now from a much wider angle. Didn't like the look, so he'll play through to Barcenas. Blackman. Escobar. High-hanging service with a header toward the spot that Miller was chasing. Upfield toward Jimenez, and now ripped away by Sanchez. Rolls upfield. The ball across, not to be. Antuna lines it up again, plays the overlap, and Herrera lets this out for a corner. Had Gallardo making the run. Player who had scored once in 85 games was waiting for a brace here in this Nations League third place game. Not for the late intervention by Cesar Blackman. Well, that's a markedly better start for Mexico out of the dressing room than they experienced on Thursday night. Luis Chavez will have to take this again. Chavez, most minutes played for Mexico in Nations League, most shots for Mexico in Nations League. Chavez, ball bounding down, forced out by Blackman. Caromed off a Mexican, maybe Romo in the box. Clever run, it came off Herrera. Flicked on by Barcenas. Godoy puts it in play. Panama were seeking their first continental trophy. They've come up short of that. They did qualify for the World Cup in Russia in 2018. Lost all 3 games. Played tight with Tunisia. Blown out by England. Fell by 3 to Belgium. Went all the way to the second to last game of the octagonal, still with a chance to reach the interconfederational playoff. One that saw Costa Rica earn their way to into the World Cup, rather, in Qatar. The last to punch their ticket. Ochoa. Cummings. Barcenas. He does play in Mexico. He's at Mazatlan. Spent some time at Tijuana prior to that. Came from a big club in Panama, Arabe Unido. Thomas Christensen. So a lot of players, most players, the Nations League finals play in big, important leagues. Like to see more of his side strive to Europe, strive into Liga MX or MLS. Barcenas has, as Godoy has. Mejia. Menez, outwitted in the moment by Cummings. Lost it seeking Blackman. Araujo, Romo. Foul by Fajardo. And a dangerous place for a Mexican free kick. It'll be Chavez or Herrera. Chavez scored that remarkable free kick goal against Saudi Arabia at the Qatar World Cup. It'd be a shame not to see him at least try and recreate that moment on Luis Mejia. Chavez will find a new panel to hit. He's the last to touch it. What's gone wrong with the wall here? It took a few steps forward, perhaps. Luis Chavez went for goal, turned away by Mejia. A magnificent save for the Panamanian goalkeeper to rob Luis Chavez. Just over the wall. That was aimed for the top corner, as it was in Qatar. A wonderful strike by Chavez, who in turn earns a corner. Chavez, Cummings. Held up and swept ahead for Carrasquilla by Diaz. And the slide from Eric Sanchez. Barcenas. Free kick won by Fajardo. And that'll come with a yellow card. Johan Vasquez is booked.
Yellow card, number 5, Johan Vasquez of Mexico.
Barcenas runs down the line. Carrasquilla. Play that to Escobar. Chest it down. Bite! Oh, Godoy! What a goal for Panama! Wow! That is a stunner from Anibal Godoy! For the 124th time, he wears this Panamanian kit. This is the best goal perhaps he's ever scored. He brings it down. He eyes glory. He leaps and delivers. A magical, cycled effort to pull Panama level. Whoa. It's not going to count. It is offside. It is offside. All eyes on a magical goal, but VAR was watching intently. Godoy is still arguing. He's gone from the goal of his life to a yellow card for dissent. Unreal. Mexico looking to reestablish their position in the game. Antuna.
Yellow card, number 20, Anibal Godoy.
Diaz. Quintero. Escobar. Apparently Herrera got him. Well, I've been granted an additional look here at Godoy in the lead-up to what would have been a magical goal. Did quite appear he was offside, yes. Painful to say the least for Panama. The United States are just now pulling into the venue for the final. Concacaf. Header away by Reyes. Upfield for Araujo. Taken back by Panama. Canada arrived moments ago here. They seek their first trophy in 23 years tonight. The United States will seek to defend their crown. Just as we found out on Thursday that the old coach is the new coach. Ball launched along Jimenez. Cummings has been stuck on Jimenez the entire night. Long throw in. Gallardo accepts the return. Lines up the service. Off the head of Miller. Mishit. And off to the races. Vasquez couldn't handle it, so it's Quintero. Rolls it all the way through. Diaz rolls back. And Godoy with a deflection. caroms to Ochoa. Foul by Araujo. The possession advantage for Panama abates. Long diagonal that Ochoa plucks. Cummings. Ball through by Herrera. Over Jimenez. Taken by Fajardo. Angled outside Blackman. Was trying to fight off Romo. Concacaf got his pocket picked. Jimenez sought to get under it. Instead, Mejia to the high point. And the quick distribution. Vasquez. Reyes out to touch. Godoy. Barcenas. Concacaf off the back heel, knocked it off Herrera. Herrera. Miller calling for support. Mejia. Miller continued. Driving inward, that's behind Diaz. Mexico all out of sorts, and they pulled away with the ball. Reyes, however, gave it away to Godoy, whose time, well, could be short now. Quintero chops up Chavez. Diaz, Romo stepped in. Pushed away by Chavez. Godoy. Throw for Panama. And a change to come. It's a shame, it really is. Hannibal Godoy leaves trailing after a magic moment for Panama. Correctly deemed offside. Godoy's day is done. His 55th minute equalizer. A half volley bike. Jimenez overtaken by Quintero, who's been handed the captain's armband. Martinez tossed it away to Chavez, who is fouled by Miller. Referee wasn't done yet. Mexico can be as angry about this as they want, but the referee clearly wasn't prepared to allow that to continue yet. Antuna steps over. Chavez offers. Beyond Jimenez. With 25 minutes separating Mexico from a third-place finish in the Nations League. Mexico will send on Orbelin Pineda, a like-for-like change with Osiel Herrera coming off. First sub utilized by Diego Coca.
For Mexico, leaving the pitch, number 9, Osiel Herrera. Entering the pitch, Orbelin Pineda, number 17.
Driven over by Quintero upfield for Barcenas. Wrong side of Diaz. It's Chavez. Taken back by Miller. Antuna in his wake. Blackman, Carrasquilla. The width for Blackman. Picks his head up, sends that cross that Gallardo pushes away. Couldn't hold on to it. Fajardo into the frame. Scuffed clearance, so Blackman will chase it down. Blackman got the cross away, bounces in front, put in by Diaz, but again it will not count. Two offside goals for Panama. Clearly offside. Referee holding play. There's an appeal from Panama that there was a handball. Now being waived to continue here. And Ochoa sends everybody forward. Mexico is living dangerously at present. And Panama, they're really proud at this point. The progress they've made. Yes, they made the World Cup, but a number of those players in the twilight or tail end of their prime. Some of the biggest names in Panamanian football have come and gone in those 5 years. Narrowly missed qualifying for the playoff. They feel like this project is more or less where they want it to be. They wanted to reach the semifinal. They did that. Now they're trying to take out this massive Mexican rival. Played onward, net by Vasquez. Fajardo commits the foul. Ball through epically by Sanchez into the penalty area cross and slid away at the last moment. Jimenez was waiting and Escobar saves the day. A dynamite cross by Uriel Antuna. It really was. And Escobar might as well be wearing a cape. Vital stuff. Chavez. Araujo. Driven with a snap header. Came from Vasquez. Mejia is there. Foul. One by Quintero. He immediately puts it back in play. You can understand the trepidation from some Mexican fans. You get the feeling a number of them simply allowed their ticket to expire rather than use it based on the attendance. That in mind, however, the ones who are here been treated to quite the match. About a quarter hour to play here. Mexico took the lead in the 4th minute. Panama have seen 2 goals undone by correct offside decisions. Carrasquilla, header back from Araujo, taken on by Memo Ochoa. Whistles through Martinez. Martinez across the top of the 18. Blackman! Comfortable for Memo Ochoa. Mexico seek their insurance. Antuna carried forward, rolled across Jimenez, and kept out, but they're pointing to the spot. It caught an arm. It is a penalty. A yellow card shown. Orbelín Pineda flying into the box. It bounced in Jimenez's direction. Mejia hoping the VAR can come to the rescue this time. There's Pineda coming through. There's the ball. I don't see that touching an arm. You could well see this go another way. Perhaps they're saying that's a foul with Jimenez being taken out. Mejia shown a yellow card for dissent. The entire Panamanian contingent in the ear of the referee, as is Tatiana Guzman. They will look. VAR played a massive role in the Nations League finals in 2021. Danian Parchment leans in. So take a look here. There's the ball from Pineda. It bounces through the legs of Bárcenas. Could this be a better look? So they're checking that first interaction, then the second. Referee's made his decision. Danian Parchment. Nope, play on. No penalty. Mejia trying to get his yellow card rescinded. That's not going to happen either. Play on indeed. And Mejia drives it 80 yards. Free kick Mexico with 13 minutes to play. Martinez was shown a yellow. Back to Ochoa. Header snap back. There's Mejia.
Double yellow card for Panama.
We've announced the Martinez yellow card. Pineda playing that through. No handball. If there's an argument for a foul, nothing in it apparently. Now it's worth noting that the under-23 Vail final just played. That was Mexico versus, you guessed it, Panama. Panama 4, Mexico 1. Slide in, deterred. Fajardo. Fajardo wins the throw. Pineda. Antuna making that run, instead never found the ball. Araujo straight into Carrasquilla. And a yellow card impeding the transition moment. That's Eric Sanchez in the book. He debuted for the national team 2 years ago, the Concacaf Gold Cup. Bagged now 13 caps for El Tri. Foul from Quintero on Chavez. Two changes await here. There's Cecilio Waterman, the striker. Freddie Gondola, the Alajuelense player as well. Araujo. Antuna. Met by Cummings. Two changes here. So that's Waterman on for Diaz. These are the second and third substitutes for Panama. Quintero coming out as well. He was on a yellow card. Freddie Gondola on for him. If Panama equalize, it could send this third place game into extra time. Quite the tackle. Advantage on here. Gondola. Good intervention by Chavez. Flicks upfield. Mejia. Fajardo. Panama corner. There's a yellow shown away from the ball. Israel Reyes. Two equalizers wiped off by offside. Barcenas this time. Carrasquilla broke it up. And now over the top. Antuna charges. He waits. The header toward Jimenez. Mejia there. Araujo. Carrasquilla. Backfield Martinez. Waterman. Barcenas. Ball through Waterman. That deflects, but the offside flag negates it altogether. Jimenez, played on by Pineda. Cummings. Dangerous ball, siphoned off, stepping forward, deflected from Sanchez. And again, Mexico caught playing with their food. They just cannot put this away. A corner. Chavez. Header by Vasquez. Askew. Substitution for Mexico. We'll see Henry Martin replace Santiago Jimenez. And you can hear the crowd. They don't like it. For whatever reason, despite coming off a 27-goal season in all competitions for Club America, Martin really hasn't won over many supporters, seemingly. The Clausura Golden Boot winner in Mexico replaces the Feyenoord player. Comes off a 15-goal campaign domestically to win the Dutch title. Escobar. We're about an hour and 10 minutes away from kickoff of the Nations League final. We'll see Canada take on the United States. These teams fell on Thursday, fight for third. Miller wins a free kick. Barcenas. Fajardo. Throw for Mexico. There's the goal. It was in the 4th minute. Jesus Gallardo on a service that caromed his way off the foot of Aurelio Antuna. Is that enough? Can Mexico bag one more here? Araujo. Once more Sanchez. Down the line. Sought Pineda. Out to the halfway line. Panama able to continue the run. Waterman swept it outside. Miller. 90th minute now. Falls to Martinez. Miller, Carrasquilla, Cummings. Martin won the ball for Mexico. They're off to the races. That's a foul. Martinez was behind. May save Miller as blushes. Miller shown yellow. Five added minutes, 30 seconds already elapsed. Panama have 2 changes left and a window to do it. Mexico could go to their bench for 3 more subs. They choose to. Pineda, touched away, Martinez. Fajardo. That'll allow Panama to get numbers forward. They have 4 minutes to equalize and send this to extra time. Belín Pineda, Romo. Miller unable to get there. Martin. Oh, wow! Martin! Can he finish? He can't. Slid away. Henry Martin, a dribbling exhibition that ran out of real estate. Look at this. Come on. He just usurped 2 Panamanian players. What a juggling effort that was. Halfway through stoppage time. Waterman. He should have taken it himself. He thought he had that trailing run. That's a really late adjustment here for Panama. Kadaskia is going to come off Giovanni Welch. Their fourth and final change. They're out of moments. Unless they get to extra time, of course. Martin leaves it off this time. Cummings. It would take something pretty majestic now for Panama. They've given it away entirely. Pineda, Mejia. The Panamanian pulse, faint as it may be, still there. Cummings into the attacking half. Waterman will chase down Ochoa. The final minute now. Down to Barcenas. Stabbed away. It's right into the run of Welch. Martinez. Bouncing to Escobar. Nice save by Mejia in the final minute of the match. Comes out strong. And denies Pineda. That is Carlos Rodriguez replacing Uriel Antuna. Antuna won't get the assist, you would think. That is full-time Mexico. The consolation of third place on the goal by Jesus Gallardo. Scored in the fourth and carried over the line. El Tri back to their winning ways in the Nations League's penultimate game, usurping Panama 1-0. For Panama, they did reach the semifinal. That was the goal they set out from the beginning. They knocked out Costa Rica to do it, and they went toe-to-toe with Mexico for much of this night. Two equalizers, offside, deny Panama what could have been a magical evening here in Las Vegas. But it's Mexico who come out on top and head to the Gold Cup with the bronze of the Nations League Finals. It finishes at full time in Las Vegas. Mexico 1, Panama 0.
Profesor Boca, una victoria muy importante para México y se vea en el tercer lugar de la Nations League.
Sí, primero había que ganar y después la manera. Creo que la manera fue buena, tuvimos muchas situaciones de gol, no pudimos meter otro más, un rival difícil que tiene mucho trabajo y esto nos sirve para crecer.
Una victoria que llega bien a México para enfrentar esta Copa Oro.
Sí, por supuesto. Cerrar ganando es importante para la confianza de los muchachos y para poder seguir trabajando y esperar lo que viene. Gracias a ustedes.
Gallardo, un gol muy importante para México y les da el tercer lugar de la Nations League.
Bueno, la verdad que muy contento por mis compañeros que se esforzaron, que tomaron el partido con seriedad y bueno, hay que pensar positivo, hay que pensar adelante y se viene la Copa Oro y hay que hacerlo de la mejor manera.
Una victoria que refresca a México en cara a la Copa Oro.
Sí, la verdad que era importante ganar, estamos muy felices por eso. Digo, agradecido con todos mis compañeros por el esfuerzo. También estamos uniendo filas ahí en el vestidor, hay que trabajar y hay que enfocarnos en lo que viene.
Gracias.
Nada.
Director Tomás Christiansen, el planteamiento que tenía para este partido con línea de 5 le trastoca la salida de Andrés Andrade al inicio del partido por lesión en el calentamiento.
La verdad es que sí, teníamos pensado tener a Andrés de carrilero. En el calentamiento se hace un poco de daño y no queríamos jugarnos nada. En este partido metimos a Joel y ahí teníamos a Joel y a César Blackman de carrileros. Pero bueno, empezamos el partido con un gol que recibimos a los pocos minutos y eso también es un hándicap, pero el equipo ha respondido muy bien, han estado serios, hemos generado unas ocasiones increíbles, pero no hemos metido el gol, pero incluso la actitud fue distinta en el partido.